Good morning everyone. As we previously have discussed about the different taxonomic tools, now we will going to study one of the taxonomic tool, that is the taxonomic documentation. A number of taxonomic literature is available, so this can be help in identifying the plant of different types. So this documentation is also very variable, starting from the different types of flora, indexes, manuals, monograph, journal. A number of taxonomic literature is present. So we will learn in today's session about these taxonomic documentations or taxonomic literature one by one. So start today's session by studying a taxonomic documentation that help into identify the plant and doing the research and elaborate our knowledge about the taxonomy. So starting with its documentation, that is one of the tool of the taxonomic identification.
Dear participants, welcome you again in this course Systematics of Angiosperm. There are enormous amount of taxonomic literature where details regarding taxonomic aspects of plant including identification, classification and nomenclature are given. So these taxonomic documentation have a number of different types of literatures and their plants are studied in various parts of the world and research work is published in different types of literature like there are different types of floras, manuals, revisions and journals. So we will study these different types of taxonomic documentation in our today's session and they are playing a very important roles in the identification of the particular plant. So if we see the different categories of taxonomic literature in that present in the systematic botany, that are the taxonomic indexes. Then next one is the classics, then flora, e-flora, manuals, then next one is the monographs and revisions, then catalogs, then icons, botanical dictionaries and glossaries, periodics and journals, bibliography, legislation, regulation, abstract and guide. So you can see a number of types of documentations and available for the studies on taxonomic data. So we will explore some of them, not all. So starting with the first one, that is the taxonomic indexes. Taxonomic indexes, these are the compiled volume and listing of the plant name that published throughout the world till now, but not concerned with the literature of the plant taxonomy. So as you can see with this definition, this is just the number of the plant. Just they are just having the indexing of the plant species that have published all over the world. And that index provides an alphabetical listing of the taxa with reference to their publication where that is published. So you can reach that publication where it is published, but that does not have any description in that particular taxonomic indexes. So it is serve as an aid for locating quickly the source of the original publication of a name. So and not concerned with the description as I have told you. So this is having a just a list of the plant that is present all over the world and you can quickly reach out that particular document where it is published. So this is also that's why it is called as the taxonomic indexes because it indexes the all the plants that present in the world in that documenting in alphabetical number and you can easily reach out to the desired publication from this indexing. So if we see the some common example of this, one of the most common example is the index Cubensis plantarum fenrogarum. That is the index of seed plant and that published by the Q. And next one is the Q filicum. That is the index of pteridophytes. So you can see this is the index Cubensis. That is the index of seed plants of flowering plant and this one is the index filicum which is the index of the pteridophytes. So these are the some indexes. So from these indexes, you can quickly reach out the desired publication you will want to reach out. If we see the detail, the first one that is the index, Cubensis plantarum phanerogamma, that is published in 2 volumes. And this work is a cornerstone to the literature on the systematics of flowering plant. Like the compilation of original work was possible by the gift of money by the Charles Darwin. So this is compiled by the Royal Botanical Garden in Kews by the J.D. Jackson and the clerical assistant under the direction of Sir J.D. Hooker. We all know about the J.D. Hooker. We will study the biochemical system of plants as given by him. So this is prepared by him under the direction of the J.D. Hooker, and that index consists, as already told you, this has the listing of the flowering plants in the alphabetical manner. So it is published in two volume earlier in 1892 to 1895, that is by the Oxford. And index differences is the reference that employed to determine the source of the original publication for the generic name or botanical of the seed plants. So as I have already told you that these indexes just have the indexing. They don't have a description of the plants. So these two volume of the index differences listed around 4 lakh names of the plant species that published in between the 1753 to 1895, and these about 6,000 names were added every year, and these accumulated names were published in the supplements every year after the publication. So the supplements already have a 20. So this index available in the electronically called as the International Plant Name Index, that is the IPNI. So if you would like to study on a particular plant, you can just search the IPNI. It will give you the publication links, so you can easily access that publication just from this particular one document, that is the International Plant Name Index. So it is, you can see, it is very helpful for the quickly going your desired plant specimens. So from this you can go to that particular class assessment. Then the next one is the Gray Herbarium Card Index. This Gray Herbarium Card Index is published from the Harvard University in Cambridge, that is from the USA. A card index is a database that accounting for all new names and new combinations that applied in any category of the flowering plant and pteridophytes of the Western Hemisphere. So it is, however, all the indexing of the Western Hemisphere, and it covers around to like 87,225 cards of Taxa that published in the 1873. And this is last updated cover published until the 1977. So it is invaluable to the student, that is New World, since it is account for the Latin names given to the vernacular since 1885. So this is the Gray Herbarium Index that is published by the USA, which is have a number of plants that belong to the Western Hemisphere. Then the next one is the Index Monomum, that is the Gendorium, that is ing botany. It is a compilation of generic name of organism covered by the ICN. So you can see ICN, that is the International Code of a Nomenclature for Algae, Fungi and Plants. So it has a compilation of all the generic names of the plant that is covered by the ICN. So each entry result from the paint is bibliographic research and application for ICN, LE, fungi and plants. And the details of valid publication, precise data of publication, type of specimen, bacterium, each of organism is maintained as a card in this particular ING. So every card has a name of genus, serial number, and designation of a person who prepared the card. So you can quickly reach out that particular person. And the first issue published in 1955 had entries of 1,000 cards. Now it is computerized and issued as a volume. So this is the ING botany, which have all the genus name according to the ICN code that is present in this particular in the form of cards. So in the taxonomic literature, the next one is the classics. Classics, as name indicate, the development of plant taxonomy and regarded as a landmark in the history of botany is called as a classic. So all the earlier workers that contributed toward the botany as well as to the taxonomy, all the document is termed as a classics, and they include the work of starting from the Theophrastus, who is known as a father of botany, to the Linnaeus, who is known as a father of taxonomy, to Magnus and Albertus. So the work of all these main scientists who contributed to the development of the plant and our understanding to the history of botany, these all are termed as the classics, and they exert a powerful influence on their days. These books are valuable from the historical standard point of view, and it deals with the classification of species in which species is considered as a basic unit of the origin. So these classics of the various from, these are some from the pre-linear literature, that is there, and some from the after the pre-linear literature. So various form of taxonomic literature incorporating description, illustration, identification keys, photograph are used for the proper identification, and in which some pre-linear literature are the Shen Pen Ching. He is the he is written the Materia Medica, which is the mythological imperial in the Xingnu of, that is 2696 BC in China. So he is written the Divine Harmony of Materia Medica. Then you can see the image of Shinnam. Then we all know about the Theophistus. Theophistus, who is work from the 370 to 288 BC. He is also considered a botany, father of botany, was a student of Aristotle and Plato. And he wrote a classification on known of the plant, that is the De Historia Plantarum, which contain about 40 plants. And in common we all see his work is also called as an inquiry into the plants, and his these class contain 40 species that is classified on the basis of just their habit, either they are herbs, shrubs, trees or undershrub. So these work is started from the Theophrastus, who is termed as the father of botany. Then in the pre-linear work, one of the work is done by the Pedinus Decorites. He is a Greek physician and pharmacologist and botanist, and they also written the De Materialia Medica, and this discovered about the 600 species of the medicinal plants. So you can see these are some pre-linear literature, which is also called as the classics because they have contributed to the history of botany. They are playing a very important role in the development of the botany as a science. Then there are some linear and post-linear literature. In the linear literature, the most common one is the Flora Leponica, which is an account of the plant of the low plant written by the Carolus Linnaeus. That is in between the 1707 to the father. This is also called as the father of water. Sorry, there is a mistake. That is a 1707 to 1770. That is termed as the father of taxonomy. That is the Carolus Linnaeus. Then Linnaeus also published this is the species plantarum, and the work which is now internationally accepted as the starting point, that is a modern botanical nomenclature, because this 1753 act as a baseline for the priority of a publication. All this that this is the baseline for the modern botanical nomenclature, that is the 1753, and that is published by the Linnaeus, that is the species plantarum, which accounts around 7,300 type of species. And you can see here is the image of the species plantarum that is published by the Linnaeus. So these literature plays a very important role in the development of the botany. Then there are some post-Linnaean literature like the literature by the George Bentham, that is the he wrote the Flora of Hongoconsis, then Flora Australiensis, revision of the genus Cassia, as you can see. Then another role is played by the William Roxburgh, like considered as the father of Indian botany, which is the William Roxburgh, and published Plant of the Coast Coromandel in between the 1795 to 80. Then Hortus Bengalensis that published in the 1814. Then Roxburgh's Flora Indica was Post honestly published first in 2 volumes in between the 1822 to 1824, and later in 3 volumes in the 1832, which about have a description of the 2600 species. So you can see here in this image there is a Flora of Indica. So William Roxburgh is a served as a father of Indian botany. They have also written some important document that is after the post-linear era. So now next one is the next type of documentation is the flora. A flora is a work dedicated to plants of a particular region and also usually restricted to the major segment of plant kingdom as a vascular or flowering plants. So there are numerous floras that account for all the vascular or seed plants. A flora provided inventory of all the plant occurring in a definite area. Suppose just like a flora of Aligarh, flora of Allahabad, flora of different Gangetic plains. So the flora have a representative of the particular different regions. It is usually authenticated by the citation of herbarium specimens and their location. Like Suppose if you are writing a flora, you just have to support your document that is from the herbarium. So it is a customary to arrange the plants in a known recognized system of classification like Bentham, Hooker, England, Brantel, Hutchinson. So it is a very important to arrange these plants in a different accepted system of a classification. Then some of the features that taxonomists record during the making an inventory are the texture of the plant, habit, size, unit, fragrance, pollinating agent, station, location, frequency, their habitat type like other associated plants, soil type, soil pH, exposure to sun, direction of habitat, elevation. Then its vernacular name. So whether the recorded species is indigenous, that means local, or naturalized, like fully established, reproducing, migrating, expanding in new area, then introduced, that are the invasive species brought directly by the man without cultivation, or adventive competition enters area by means of but unable to meet the competition. So we have to also mention the vernacular name and their also whether the recorded species is they native or exotic. Then the if we see the objectives of floras, they are the survey and collection of the plants from the study area. They are identify the species collected from the study area. They describe the identified species and preparation of a detailed account of a plant found in the study area based on the own collection, consultation of herbaria, and the study of relevant literature. So the preparation of comprehensive list of economically as well as medicinally important species taxa for their conservation and sustainable utilization. And evaluation of the threatened near the threatened plant species of the area. A study of biotic interferences of the plant diversity of that particular area. So we have certain objectives for writing the flora, and these are the some objectives that listed here for the writing a flora. And there are some guidelines for the writing a flora, like area of study should be selected carefully. Then brief account of the plant should be provided according to their taxonomic hierarchy, like species under the respective genera under their families under their respective order their respective subclass and classes. Then taxa may be arranged either according to a standard system of classification that is highly preferred or alphabetically, but it is less preferred. And additional tools may be provided, which is very important for the flora to reach out certain characteristics. Then citation of the accepted names like basionames and names etymology may be provided. Then vernacular name is also provided. Brief description should be provided. Illustrations of the photograph should be provided for the easy identification. Then phenology should be provided. Precise illustration should be mentioned and the water specimen should be also mentioned. So these are the some guidelines which is very important before writing the flora that has to be followed for the writing of a flora. So we have to collect all this information before writing a flora, and this is just a format of a flora. As you can see here, you can see flora of Gangotri National Park, in which you can see this is the Orchidaceae family, and there's a number of different types of plants that recorded from this particular family. So first of all, in this flora, there you can see it is a key. So all the plants that belong to this particular family, Orchidaceae, you can easily reach out by these keys on different page numbers. So before reaching to this particular Orchidaceae, there's also we can from different keys you can reach out to this particular section. Then from these keys you can reach out to every species, and you can see here the name like is the Androcoris. You can say this is the accepted name. Then this is the citation of the genus that is present from where it is taken. Then you can see there is a accepted names, then basio names, then description. You can see is the description of the particular plant species. Then is phenology, habitat, specimen explained. Here you can see the etymology, its distribution. So here is the synonym, vernacular name. So you can see all these information. And first of all, it is supplemented with a key, which is very important for the identification of genera of Orchidaceae in this particular Flora Gangotri National Park. So we have to collect all this information before writing the flora because it is very important. So in this way, we can easily write a flora, and with the help of these keys and with this information, we can easily reach out our desired information. Then this flora is classified as follows. As we can see in this image, this is the monocot and orchidaceae. So we have to arrange this particular floras according to some known classification, like plants divided into two groups, Phanerogams and Cryptogamia. So we can write the flora particularly of gymnosperm of that particular area, angiosperm, or we can say seed plant or cryptogamy of that particular area. Then if you're writing, suppose we can also write the flora of angiosperm and monocot angiosperms and that particular area. So we have to classify the flora according to this type, and we have to arrange them accordingly in our flora. So if you see this is the types of objective how to write a flora, and if you see the flora, inventory of a flora is a detailed geographical region. So it is maybe also divided into different region. This may be also act as a local, regional, continental, special or E-flora. So local flora that means district, state or particular regional flora. So local flora like flora of, you can say Hazaribagh district of Bihar, flora of Assam, then flora of Kerala, flora of Mizoram. So these are the particular district, state or region wise flora you can see in this particular. So these are the that is maintaining the small range. Then the next one is the regional flora. That has a flora of a larger geographical area and usually a large country or of a botanical garden. Like in this say you can say flora of Rajasthan. As we know, Rajasthan is the largest city and largest state of our country. So this one is the quite covering the quite large area like the flora of Bhutan, then flora of British India, then which is published in the 7 volumes. So this is flora covering a more appropriately known as the national flora. As you can see, this is the British flora of India, which is published by the Sir J. Duker, which is present in the seven volumes, which are the 15th of the 900 species of the flowering plant. Now the next one is the continental flora that covers the entire continent. As you can say, flora of Australiensis, flora of Europea, flora of North America. So you can see the geographical area has become quite large, and you can see here the number of all the continent covered this type of a particular flora. Then we have seen that those flora like local, national, regional or the continental flora that cover a specific geographical range. Then there is a special type of flora that particular taxon or plant group is covered, like orchids of Bhutan. This is a special type of flora that is only for the orchids. It is not covering all the plant species. It is just covering the orchids of the Bhutan. So this is a special type which is covering a special type of group of plant, like flora of Tamil Nadu grasses. It is covering only one group of plant, that is the grasses in the Tamil Nadu. So these are termed as the special flora group, as you can see in these images. In this this is the mosses of Khandala and Mahabaleshwar in the Western Ghats. So this is covering the just mosses. Mosses mean that belong to the bryophytes. So they are covering the one group of in which bryophytes maybe they are already covering the same only bryophytes are into three groups like Lycopsida, Hepaticopsida, and then this is the Brachypsida. So this is covering only mosses, only one group of the bryophytes. So this special flora particular taxon is also there are some examples of that is the Aphiloproles of Himalaya, Hepatics of the Khasi and Janta Hills, then Pans and Allies of the Arunachal Pradesh. These all are the some special type of floras that is published by. Then the next one is the E-flora. E-flora that available is online. And now many of the large institute herbaria are becoming online and digitized all the plant because we can directly reach out this particular like the flora of China. You can see They are documenting all the plant available there. Now they digitized this. So you can easily provide this by the only one click. This is the North America flora of North America. Then this is the cues. You can see this is the also become online. So now E-flora is just a digitized form of the flora, and we can easily access it from any place, anytime, anywhere. So it is a very important in the taxonomic document that is now available online, and is very quite very helpful in studying the taxonomy. So this is the E-flora. So E-flora is any flora which is published online or available online for the access to everyone. In which we've already seen, in which the flora of India is also a example here, and you can reach out, that is the E-flora of India, by this particular website. So easily you can reach out to this particular E-flora of India, and you can search the any plant you would like to see where it is distributed in India. So you can get all the information of this particular website in India. You can easily reach out to that particular plant. So it is a very important. You will note down this website if you have interest in the botany. So we can see flora has a number of information that useful in the many of the categories, like it is consultation of the herbarium specimen and different herbaria. It is also used in the identification of collection of a specimen. It is also preparation of the description of illustration, field observation, field survey, study of available literature, preservation. So the flora has a number of important things that is useful, and it is used in the these information is used in the writing of the flora. So there is a, you can confuse with the two term. There is a flora or flora. Both have a same spelling. You can say one is has a small capital and one is the flora. So both have a same thing. Flora, that means the vegetation. So just suppose we are going a particular area. So all the plant that present in that particular area, we call it flora. That is written with the now with the smaller. So this is called a vegetation. If we have published this, so we have to write it with the capital letter. So all the vegetation that is present in that particular area, which is published in the form of a book, that is termed as the flora, which is written by a capital letter. Like the flora of Eastern Himalaya is at highly rich, because the here you can say these are the representing the vegetation of that particular region. That is the flora of Eastern Himalaya is highly rich because they have a very high number of diversity. And here you can see the flora of the presidency of Bombay is written by the Theodore Cook. So you have to remember that when you are writing the flora, that is the taxonomic document, you have to always write in the capital letter as a noun. So this is the difference between the flora, which is also a plant, but a document you can how to retain a flora in different locations. Then these are the list of some important flora like Natural History of Plant that published in the 8 volumes, and Genera Plantarum that is by Bentham and Oka. Then England Planter published the Diameter, Lichen, Paplangen. Then Families of Flowering Plant by Hutchinson. So these are some important floras of the world. Then the next one is the revisions. Revisions are a novel analysis of the variation pattern within a particular taxon, considered in the conjunction with the information from the literature, which result in the generation of primary and secondary product. Suppose we have written a particular information for a particular taxa, but sometime we will feel that there is some information like particularly we have particular taxon, not collection of morphological repertoire possibly from a particular area. So we have to modify a certain information that particular taxon we have already written. So that is published in the form of a revision. So we have already published a document. Now, due to some research after that, now we have to revise it, that is published in the form of a revision. So revision, the main objective of revision is the preparing an up-to-date taxonomic account of a taxon to aid in like the specific taxon identification and comparison, or retrieval of a general information about the taxon, or exploring the scope of sustainable utilization, for assessing the present status of member taxon in the field and purpose and conservation measures, then providing the foundation of other related fields of the life sciences. So there may be many reasons of the writing a revision of particular taxon, and there are some expected outcomes of the revisions. And these are some examples of the revisions. Like sometimes geographical scope of revision may be worldwide. So we can publish them like the taxonomic division of the genus Australia. So we can revise this like the fascicles of the flora of India. These are the division. Then strobilus of the bloom in and the fascicles of flora of India. You can see this one is the revisions. Then fascicles. So we can say these are the revisions. So we can add them, or so these are the also act as a, we have to modify them certain thing, we have to add something in some information, so we can revise this as a termed as the revisions. Then revision is for the revision it's very essential to consult a herbarium. So effort should be given to consult the maximum number of herbarium has been deposited in different herbaria located in different parts of the world before writing a revision. So we cannot write a revision before consulting the herbarium specimens. Then the next important document in the taxonomy is the monographs. A monograph is defined as a complete account of can be made of a given time of any family, tribe, genus, and nothing being neglected of it. So monograph, that is a group of plant, maybe a genus, family, or tribe. We have to write all about the all information which is published in the form of a monograph. So it is a worldwide scope and application, and it removes all the taxonomic treatment that have been made in the particular taxon, and synthesizes available cytological, genetical, and all the other types of information. So you have to, if you would like to publish a monograph, you have to collect all the information from the different respective fields, and you can publish it in the form of a monograph. Like all the elements of this trait like as are accounted for the dichotomous key. As example of this monograph, you can see here this is a Pinus. It is a single genus which is written by the Maheshwari and Konar in 1971, and you can see it is a botanical monograph that is published by the CSIR New Delhi. So it is just deals with the one genus, that is the Pinus, and it is documenting all the information of the Pinus from the all over the world. So in the monograph, you have to write all the information that's from the world, and it is served as a document for the world. Then similar to vision, but more exhaustive in the following features, because number of species or taxa is more in this particular. The review of literature is worldwide. The synonyms completely, synonyms, specimens, examined, herbaria is consulted, and the information from the allied fields. And this is the list of the some monographs like Lavandula, the genus Tulipa, the genus Philodendron, then Cupressaceae, monographs of a Cupressaceae family and Cypetaceae. Then the next one is the next document is the manuals. A manual is a more exhaustive treatment than the flora and always having a keys for identification, description, but generally covering the specialized group of plants. Like you can see the manuals of cultivating plants. So this one is, you can say, LH Bailey, published by LH Bailey, then Manuals of Aquatic Plant, that is published by the NC in 1957. So manuals have a more exhaustive statement. They have a specialized group of plant, as you can see in this particular image. This is the revised edition. This one is the earlier one that is published by the LH Bailey, which is have a manuals of cultivated plants. Then in this respect, the next one is the conspectus. A conspectus is an effective outline of a comprehensive work of revision listing all the taxa. Like you can see, this is the species plantarum, that is the by the Linnaeus in the 1753. So with all the major synonyms, without short diagnosis and with the brief mention of the geographical range. So this one is the conspector that have a effective outline of a comprehensive work. Then the next one is the periodical. A periodical is a publication that appearing at the regular intervals, and each issue is called as a number, and collectively these numbers comprise a volume, that is have a band left of fascicles in Germany. So in generally it is English called as a volume, and it's also known as a band heft of fascicles in Germany. Then the sponsors of periodical often publish more than one serial. A scientific society may publish a monthly serial, provide a publication of a variety of relatively short papers contributed by the numbers together. or such periodics usually called as the journals or annals or bulletin or proceedings. So those periodics which is periodically also called as the journals or annals, and they have a frequency of publishing like they may be published monthly, biannually, half annually, or maybe published they are the annuals. So these are journal which is published on a certain specific gap from monthly to annually. So these are the called as a, that's why periodics, because they have a certain specific time of a publication. So if we see the some important journals of taxonomy, like the taxonomy journal provide information on the results of ongoing research in its publication as a regular intervals. Like some examples of the important journals of the taxonomy, like some most important one is the Taxon. Taxon is one of the most important journal of the taxonomy, like Q Bulletin, then Nelumbo, Current Science. These are some important journals of the taxonomy which is published, and that publishes the research going on the botanical research in the taxonomy. Then abstract and bibliography provide a summary of the various articles published in the various journals, like the biological abstract of Tamil Nadu. So these are just summary of the article that published in the proceedings. So these are some important periodicals that in taxonomic studies areas as follows, like Annals of Royal Botanical of Garden in Kolkata, Journal of Linnean Societies from the Botany, London, then Records of Botanical Survey of India, Kolkata, Journal of Indian Botanical Society, that is the May from the Meerut, then Tropical Ecology Bulletin from the Varanasi, Bulletin of the Torrey Botanical Club, Q Bulletin, that is from the London, Blumia from the Netherlands, then Edinburgh Journal of Botany, Edinburgh, Systematics Botany from the USA, Taxon from the Berlin, Germany, then the Bulletin of Botanical Survey of India, Kolkata. So you can see these are the some important few publications, periodics from the for that publishing the research from the taxonomy, and these are some mentioned here. Then the checklists are the list of the plants that offer information and description of lacking description, diagnosis, and other details of an area, region, and sometimes dealing with the particular groups of plants. Like flowering plants of India, checklist of the non-lichenized plants. So these are some general checklists, and there are some world global checklists. You can say the checklist of the selected plant families. You can see here these are the just this is a list of the plants of an area of a region, and they are sometimes arranged in the form of a groups. Then the next one is the botanical dictionary. A botanical dictionary may be include list of all the known genera or taxa, and sometimes with a brief information on the distribution of the certain groups of plants, like the dictionary of flowering plants and the fund by the J.C. Willis, then the dictionary of economic products of the India, that is by the G. Watt, or the Mablery plant book with the, so these are the some, you can see there is a Mablery's plant book. So these are a botanical dictionary which has the some key topics which have a information. Then botanical glossary, that is a glossary of alphabetical list of a different term with their explanation, like glossary of botanical term by the B.D. Jackson in 1928. Then Cambridge illustration glossary by the botanical term. So you can see these are the some Cambridge literature of botany in the terms by the Hickey and King that published in the 2000. So these are the botanical glossary that provides the explanation of botanical term in alphabetical orders. So beside this plant, there is a different type of research present in the internet also, in which the plant systematic on the internet now provides a wealth of information of about plants, and it provides a quick access to floras, checklists, images of plants, detailed treatments. So you get the information from reach or the some website, like the some important one is the internet directory for the botany, which you can access by this particular uh, access link. Then this is one of the for the chromosome number, that is the IPCA, and then the this is the for the botanical glossary, that is the MOBOT, that is the research. Then this is the database for the name associated with the bibliographic details of the seed plant, that is the IPNI. As I've told you, this is maintained by the Kews Botanical Garden with the list of plants, that is the indexing. Then the plant, that is the gestor. This provide the global plant, provide the images of herbarium specimen from the numerous institution. Then the itself Q.organization, that is Royal Botanical Garden website, which is providing a number of plant information directly to you by just one click on the internet. So you can also study the botany from the internet. So that's all for the taxonomic documentation. Hope this will help you in the study of botany as well as for the taxonomic study.
So that's all for today. These are the taxonomic document you can already easily access through online as well as from your libraries. So that's all for today's session. Thank you all of you for joining me in this particular session. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and this particular session has also increased your knowledge of taxonomic studies. So thank you all of you for joining me.